The Mavericks take on the Clippers, 3:30 p.m. Eastern start time. LA's -2, totals 213.5. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at brockpage.com. We went 5-1 in our 6 premium sports picks on brockpage.com yesterday. We're also 8-3 in our last 11 NBA tier package picks on that very same website. And the good news is we have another NBA tier package pick going off here today. We currently have over 975 members who are signed up and active on that site. And once again, if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at brockpage.com. The Clippers are 7-3 straight up at the Staples Center this season. They're allowing just 101 points a game there, and they're holding their opponents to just 29% shooting from three-land there as well. Paul George is averaging 2 steals a game and 7 defensive reboundings. When it comes to the scoring, Paul George is also averaging over 26 points a game, along with 5 assists. Reggie Jackson's also scoring over 17 points a night himself. 3 rebounds, 4 assists for Reg. The Clippers are in the top 10 in offensive rebounding. They're taking on a Dallas team who lost their last 2 straight. And they may have to go to work once again without the efforts of Luka Doncic. He's battling an ankle injury. The Mavs currently have a losing road record, and they're scoring just 100 points a game when traveling. The Mavs are also in the bottom 3 in the NBA in offensive field goal percentage on the road as well. And when it comes to the injury report, once again, Doncic is questionable. Kleba is questionable as well. Meanwhile, for Los Angeles, Morris and Preston are out for them. Now, total-wise, 3 out of LA's last 4 ball games fell under the number. They also went 7-3 to the under in their last 10 meetings with the Mavs. And speaking of Dallas, they're 5-3 to the under on the road, 10-5 to the under anywhere. I'm going to lean toward the LA Clippers -2, under 213.5. Next game, Lakers Pistons, 6 o'clock Eastern start time. The Lakers are -7.5, totals to 11. And as bad as the Lakers have been, they still covered the number in 4 out of their last 7. LA's currently in the top 10 in the NBA in scoring on average per contest. Anthony Davis is scoring 24 points a game along with 10 rebounds, couple assists. Meanwhile, Russell Westbrook is dropping nearly 19 a night himself, along with 8 boards, 8 assists as well. The Lakers score more first quarter points on the road than any other team in the association. They're taking on a Detroit squad who lost 7 out of their last 10 themselves. And they also score fewer points per contest than any other team in the NBA. The Pistons are scoring just 97 points per game at the Little Caesars Arena. And they're making only 20% of their three-pointers on their home court. The Pistons are dead last in offensive field goal percentage at home. Olynyk and Livers are still out for Detroit. Stewart and Hayes are questionable. Meanwhile, for the Lakers on the other side, Nunn and Ariza are still out indefinitely. LeBron is questionable. 5 out of LA's last 7 contests got over the number. Meanwhile, Detroit went 4-2 to the over in their last 6 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the LA Lakers -7.5, over to 11. Next matchup, Knicks Bulls, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Chicago's -5, numbers 209.5. The Bulls won 5 out of their last 7 ball games, 71% against the number on their home court this season. Chicago allows just 101 points per contest at the United Center, and they're also in the top 3 in fewest third quarter points allowed on their home court. Alex Caruso is averaging nearly 3 steals a game defensively, 3.5 rebounds a night off the bench as well. Meanwhile, scoring-wise, Zach LaVine is averaging nearly 27 points a game, along with 5 boards, 3 assists. The Bulls are currently in the top 5 in home offensive rebounding. They're taking on a Knicks team who failed to cover in 4 Sorry about that. They're taking on a Knicks team who failed to cover in 4 out of their last 5 ball games. 3-7 against the spread in their last 10. The Knicks are in the bottom 10 in offensive field goal percentage. Bottom 3 in third quarter scoring. Now, injury-wise, Gibson is questionable for the Knicks. Vucevic is out for Chicago. 2 out of the Bulls' last 3 got over the number. Give me Chicago -5 over 209.5. Next matchup, Nuggets, Suns, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. Phoenix is -7.5, totals 209. The Suns have won their last 11 straight, 7-2 straight up this year on their home court. Phoenix is in the top 5 in scoring, top 3 in offensive field goal percentage. Devin Booker scoring over 22.5 points a night, 5 rebounds, 4 assists for the guard. Meanwhile, DeAndre Ayton scoring 14 points a game, along with a dozen rebounds. Now, defensively, the Suns are limiting their opponents to just 104 points a game. They're taking on a Denver team who lost their last 3 straight, and they also have a losing road record. And the Nuggets lost 4 out of their last 6 road games, and they successfully covered the point spread just twice during that span. Denver scoring just 102 points per contest away from home, and they're making only 30% of their three-pointers in that same category. Now, defensively, the Nuggets are in the bottom 10 in defending the 3 ball on the road as well. When it comes to the injury report, Jokic is questionable, Nagy is out. Meanwhile, for Phoenix, Kaminsky and Nader are out for them. When it comes to the total on this one, 4 out of Phoenix's last 8 ball games got over the number, throwing out the Minnesota game. Meanwhile, Denver went 3-1 to the over in their last 4 themselves. I'm going to lean toward Phoenix -7.5 over 209. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup. It is going to be Raptors versus the Warriors, 8:30 p.m. Eastern start time. Golden State's -10.5, totals 217. The Warriors have won their last 3 straight, 10-1 straight up in their last 11. The Warriors are scoring more points per contest than any other team in basketball. They're also leading the NBA in offensive field goal percentage. Steph Curry is scoring 29.5 points a game, 6 rebounds, 6.5 assists for Steph. Curry's also drilling 42% of his three-pointers. Meanwhile, Andrew Wiggins is also scoring over 18 points a night himself, along with 4 rebounds. Now, defensively, the Warriors are leading the NBA in defensive field goal percentage as well. They're taking on a Toronto team who lost 6 out of their last 8 ball games, and they also have a losing record overall for the season. The Raptors have successfully covered the point spread in just 2 out of their last 8. Toronto scores just 105 points a game, and they're in the bottom 10 in offensive rebounding. Now, injury-wise, Anunoby is questionable. Watanabe is also questionable for Toronto. Meanwhile, for Golden State, Iguodala is out. Porter is questionable. Now, total-wise, Golden State 6-3 to the under at home, 11-5 to the under at any location. Meanwhile, Toronto is 5-4 to the under when traveling. I'm going to lean toward Golden State -10.5, under 217. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap, powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 8-3 in our last 11 NBA tier package picks. I like the Clippers -2, under 213.5. Lakers -7.5, over 211. Chicago Bulls -5, over 209.5. Phoenix -7.5, over 209. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 8-3 in our last 11 NBA tier package picks on brockpage.com. I'm going to lean toward Golden State -10.5, under 217. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that's going to go to Gerard Lee, who said the other day, "Brock, my guy." All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. If you guys do end up getting a membership here today on that website, just keep in mind, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on that website, you're going to get access to those picks all the way through the end of November. Although I do tell folks in every single video The earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.